What's up, guys? Welcome back to the qualifiers for WCS America. This is day number 2. Day 1 was yesterday, Saturday. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Of course, we've been casting a long time today, been having a lot of fun watching players drop out of this tournament, watching players do quite well. And of course, we're going to be covering this tournament leading into next week, so make sure you tune in each and every day. Of course, right now we're watching a best-of-3 series between Jaedong and Center. Jaedong took game 1 with some fancy Roach Knight display. Game 2 was taken by Center with some nice Hellbat play, and of course, again, just constant harassment, denying the fourth of his opponent, leading us into game number 3. It's going to be the decider, of course. I'm Axel, joined by Sham2, and we got Chris Lee, aka Mouse Illusion, on the line, helping out with some analysis. Thanks again for coming on, Mr. Chris. I know it was very short notice. I'm on Skype. I'm like, Chris, you want to watch some Jaedong? And you're like, sure, man. And then we brought you on Skype, and now we're here and having a blast. So, Chris, thanks again for coming on, man.
No problem. It's actually pretty fun to watch these players as well.
Yeah, of course. Some of the best players around, I would say. Center, probably a little bit lesser known than Jaedong, but showing he is a very good Terran player from the games we've seen. Of course, took down Xenio 2-1. That we casted game 3 of that a little bit earlier, and of course, that leads us into game 3 here between Jaedong and Center. It's going to be on Neo Planet S. Let's go ahead and get into game number 3. Of course, this is the decider. The winner of this will advance on to the next round of this qualifier, and the loser will be out in their hopes of being in the Premier League. In Season 1 of WCS America will be shattered.
Season 1, pretty exciting stuff.
Yep.
Completely changing the face of Starcraft here. And
Of course,
speaking of the face of Starcraft, spawning up here in the top right-hand corner is one of my favorite players of all time. It is Evil Genius's Jaedong. That's a really weird thing for me to say as well, hearing Jaedong on Evil Geniuses. We're spawning down here in the bottom left-hand corner is also our blue Terran player, doing pretty well in game number 2. What can he do in game number 3? That's the question. Center.
So again, the story behind game 2 was Center able to get that damage done with the Hellbat drops while taking his third base, securing that, and then of course denying that fourth base from his opponent. Because of course, when you do this as a Terran player, you're happy to trade it. We had some brilliant Widowmine connections as well. It was awesome to see that incorporated into his play. So, Chris, I have a question for you. What does Jaedong need to do? It might be a map-dependent thing to kind of react to this type of play he's seeing from Center.
I think every player has a different way of dealing with it. I think everyone's trying to do the Muto Link play and just get some good fights and just push through, which I think is probably the most optimal thing that Jaedong can do, because that's probably what he's practicing. I would like to see more Roach, Zergling, Baneling type of compositions and try to end it early, but it's kind of gimmicky because if that push gets stopped, then you're a million years behind and you have to play perfectly to get back in the game. But on this game, I think he's going to want to get it to 5 bases. Like, the Terran has to secure the 5th base, and that should, if Jaedong plays correctly, it's not going to happen, because if you look at the 5th base positions for the Terran player, where are you going to go? Are you going to go in that corner of the map, or are you going to go in the center of the map where Zerg can attack you? But there's also a lot of counterattack paths, which is good for both players, because the Medivacs with the Ignite Afterburners, they have a lot of potential, but he's already abusing this small, I would say this is small distance, natural. And he's getting a Reaper. He actually went 11 racks, 11 gas, so it's going to hit before a Queen is out and before Zergling's out. Yeah, I think he's just trying to play safe, get some good scouting, and he wants to set up the game like he did for the last game. Just get into the mid-game with the Biomine and get cost-effective trades and just do one big push.
So, what are your thoughts on ZVT on Neo Planet S, and how would you kind of approach this from Center's point of view?
The way he's doing it right now, his most standard games have been Biomine, and I think that's pretty good this map as well. There's a lot of places you can engage, which are wide open. You want to kind of avoid those places and kind of just keep counterattacking. Like, if you look at the Zerg start on the left side, the rocks, that's a really good point of contention where Zerg and Terran will often fight. And the Reaper is actually the main base while I was talking. He actually hasn't killed anything, I think. Yeah, he hasn't killed anything, just getting some scouting and nothing being lost. Jaedong's actually losing some mining time, so probably a trade Jaedong doesn't like, but no one's really coming out ahead, but no one's really behind here either.
Yeah, some really good fancy footwork there from that little Reaper from Center. And yeah, I thought he was going to go in and try and do as much harassment as possible, but I think he was just completely fine with getting some scouting information. And he didn't let the Reaper die. It was a little bit close, but of course with the health regeneration, he can just wait for his other friends to come in later on. And just making sure that Reaper's still alive and able to get some information.
Yeah, Jaedong not taking a very fast start on this map. Again, I think it's a map where it's kind of harder to do, especially if your opponent's opening with that Reaper play. We've got some Lings trying to track this Reaper down, but again, he's going to jet out of there and going to be just fine. Meanwhile, behind this center, again, taking that expansion. Going up to Starport, are we going to see an Armory again?
Yeah, we definitely are. He took 2 gases pretty early compared to when you normally would. And if he was going for that early biomine slot with double eBay, he wouldn't have taken that gas so early, but... curious about his armory time once again. If he's going for that armory, it's late once again, which is gonna delay his build. And I actually don't think he's gonna do it again. This is really, really bad for a gamer to be this bad on armory timing.
Speedling's tracking down the Reaper. That's a nice little moral victory for Jaedong.
Yeah, I'm sure Santa was trying to get out at least a couple more Speedlings out of Jaedong, but Jaedong just wasn't going for that bait. He only spent, you know, 2 larvae on Zergling, and it's just been droning up since then. So this is actually pretty good from Jaedong. Especially, I mean, since he didn't see any more Reapers coming out here from center, I think he was just fine, just waiting for speed to finish up. He knew there wasn't going to be too much damage coming out of him.
There we go, Widow Mines in production here, as well as that medevac, but yeah, no armory in production. So this might just be that Marine Widow Mine drop we saw from before, while also being annoying with these 4 Hellions. Of course, you can try to pressure that natural expansion, make the Queen second guess themselves, also apply some aggression towards that 3rd base, maybe even sneak into your opponent's natural expansion mineral line while you're doing a drop in the main. Of course, if Jaedong's distracted by a drop in the main, that could be a potential vulnerability. However, he's going to use the Hellions to actually drop instead of the Widow Mine, so we'll have to see where center goes from here, but looking to get some damage done to that economy for sure.
Interesting path choice here. Oh, did he get spotted by those Zergling? I didn't actually get a chance to get the vision, but he is going to get spotted by this Overlord. So going in a pretty obvious, very straightforward manner, straight on into the main base. Not too many Speedlings here, but there are enough to at least... yeah, it looks like it's going to be able to keep the Hellions away for now. More and more Speedlings coming in. The medevac has to pick up those Hellions and get his way out.
This is kind of an odd game to watch for me because there's not much upgrading or like any specific. Oh, actually, Jaedong is going for a Ling Baneling attack, which makes sense. But there's Widow Mines.
Oh no.
Yeah, this could actually turn out really bad for Jaedong. I don't think he should go in once he sees the Widow.
Oh, he doesn't bait the Widow Mine with anything beforehand, but doesn't really matter. The supply
there he
depot.
goes, splitting up the Lings. This is exactly what he has to do. There's one more, and he knows it, sending another squadron of Lings down. There we go. The Widow Mines are spent. The Banelings heading straight for the natural expansion. The bunker is gone. The SCV is running for their lines. The Banelings trying to find them. Bunker's trying to get constructed here by Center, but Jaedong has so much Zerg in his opponent's natural expansion. Center desperately trying to save some SCVs, pulling them in that medevac and get a head back into his main base, but Jaedong with a great attack here.
And there's more and more Banelings coming in here. So many Zergling, the natural, actually not even being lifted off. There we go. Center does lift it off. The supply depots go down in a heartbeat. The Hellions get some beautiful salvos off as they line up all those Zergling in that nice little choke point set up there by Center. And that's going to allow him to hold on for now, but more and more Zergling are coming in here, droning up behind this as well. So even if he doesn't kill Center right now, he's going to be in a beautiful economic position. A little bit of splash damage from those Widow Mines going to take out another Hellion. Man, Jaedong is just... I think Jaedong's saying, you want to harass my mineral line? I'm going to harass your mineral line way better.
I think Center's just playing off this game. I don't want to really sound negative or anything because obviously he's trying. I think he just made a few mistakes. He made an early mistake. I didn't want to point it out to her because there were some Hellion drops going on, but he actually had to supply drop at around the 6-minute mark, which Terran normally doesn't want to do. It's obviously some nerves or something that wasn't planned. I think he forgot an armor. He took 2 gases early, but decided to go for a regular Hellion drop with a medevac drop, and he took.
So he forgot the armory. We think.
Yeah, he forgot the armory. That I think he did. There's no reason why he would do
to
that.
Be honest, yeah.
That makes a lot of sense of why he just went for 4 Hellions.
This whole game has been just off pace for him, and I can tell he's just trying to get back in it, but everything he's doing to get back in the game. Look at this medevac. Everything's just getting shut down, and when you're a player and everything you're trying to do to get back in the game is not going well, your morale is down, and you know you're supposed to lose. There's no way you can come back. It's like the worst feeling. I know how he's feeling right now. I just kind of feel bad for him.
And this is such an important game for him. Again, guys, this is the losers bracket of this WCS America qualifier. The winner of this game will move on in the bracket. The loser will be knocked out. Jaedong looking great so far, up 84 to 62, pretty much shutting down every attempt of harassment here from Center at this point in the game, nailing a great Zergling Baneling attack into his opponent's natural expansion a little bit earlier. It looks like the medevac was... I think that's the medevac that was low in health.
Yeah, that was the medevac that was low in health.
Yeah, barely got his spore rooted right as it passed, so he's catching a break finally, which is good for him. He's moving out with the Hellions, and to be honest, I don't think he should be Yeah, actually, he should be trying to poke and get some economic damage in because he did lose a lot, but these type of pokes aren't really gonna do much, I feel.
Yeah, I don't feel like they're gonna. Oh, actually, I'm sorry, that wasn't the medevac from before. Or was that another medevac? There's just so many
snuck
medevacs
out.
here.
He was able to sneak it out of there.
So it looks like those Hellions are gonna come in here. Are they gonna be able to get enough drone kills to hopefully throw him back into the game? 101 to 75 right now. So many Speedlings out here. Here comes a Widowmine hit, and it's actually gonna hit those Hellions too. One of the Hellions does go down to a Widowmine hit. And
Jaedong played that perfectly. He sent exactly the right amount of Zerglings to kill or to detonate the Widow Mines to go forward. So he's playing beautifully right now. I mean, he's not forgetting the Baneling speed this time. He could start 2-2, but I think, yeah, he just wanted the 10 meters up before he started upgrading. Because he knows he's ahead in upgrades. He doesn't have to try and rush it. And now with the Mulas coming out and Speedlings and some creep, he has complete map control. And he can't even, Terran can't take a third right now. Like, if he moves out to try and take a third, he'll get Zergling, Baneling, Mulas busted in. He knows that, which is why he's trying to turtle. But now he's killing Overlord and he's trying to go forward. But if you look at his army, it's pretty much non-existent.
So if you're center right now, what are you doing to try to get back in this game? Is this just a turtle thing? Just try to play safe, and try to keep an eye on what Jaedong's up to. Try to cover your backdoor entrances and just slowly go out and take a third. What do you do here, Illusion?
What you do is, you have to turtle. You have to get some good Widowmine placements, make sure the Mulas don't do enough damage. You have to get him some harass because right now, Center is behind in every single aspect of the game. He has less workers, slower upgrades, less units, less everything. So he's in a really unfavorable position right now, and he has to get some good drop in, a good Hellion harass, good Widowmine, something to hit Jaedong really hard in the economy because he's not going to hit the army at all. There's no way.
Even if he does take out this army, I mean, look at this army. It's just nothing but things that kill light units. And Center's army is just nothing but light units. Now, hopefully he can get a lucky Widowmine shot off, but no, Jaedong baiting those out perfectly with just a couple of spare lings going out ahead of his army.
Yeah, Jaedong knows he's ahead too. He's just making sure he can't secure that third base and get back into the economy. And he's actually going to sandwich his army, and there's... Oh god.
Gosh, Banelings coming in from the right. Lings, Banelings, Mutas here coming in from the left. Widowmines being rendered useless by brilliant link play there from Jaedong. Jaedong's up 143 to 60 supply. And this third base, there's no way that's getting up. Jaedong extending his lead further and further. Great engagement there from Jaedong.
Yeah, that's exactly what he didn't want to do. There's no reason for him to move out at all. There's nothing he can accomplish. Yeah. He had to turtle, and he chased after his Zergling Baneling. He lost his whole arm.
There it is.
At the end of the game.
So Jaedong wins 2-1 over Center. Wow.
Yeah, very nicely played there from Jaedong, taking the 2-1 victory. He'll be advancing on in the bracket. Unfortunately for Center, well fought, and we thought maybe he forgot an army here. They're definitely a little bit rattled during that game. But again, well fought in this tournament from him. So look out for him in the future. But Center will be out of the WCS America qualifier tournament. And that's going to conclude this series, guys. Illusion, I just want to say thank you for coming on and hanging out with us and providing your very insightful commentary. Is there anything you wanted to say before we let you go?
Yeah, of course. Thanks to you guys for inviting me. It was really short notice. I'm glad I could actually put in some insight, and the games were pretty fun. Center put on a pretty good run. I'm kind of disappointed that the one mistake could cost him the whole tournament run, and I'm... it's kind of one of those things where, what if he got the army? What if he might have won this game, But yeah, besides that, I want to, of course, thank my team, Mouse Sports, and our sponsors, BenQ, Gil, Razor, and Thortec. And if you enjoyed my commentary or want to watch me play, follow me on Twitter at Mouse Illusion.
Awesome. Do it, guys. Go follow that guy at Mouse Illusion. Chris, thanks again. Also, look out for him in the WCS America Premier League. He is one of the invites, so he'll be playing, so look out for him. Again, best of luck in your progress, Chris, and thanks again for coming on. Guys, you're watching WCS America, the qualifying tournament to determine who are the final 8 players that are going to be joining the Premier Division. I'm Axel Tosh, joined by Sham2. We'll be back with more StarCraft 2 action in just a bit.